When I say that no black country would ever develop, I meant the basic things that is required. The 4-pillar foundation that you find in every developed country. But there is no developed country. There are only 2 types of countries on earth: industrialized countries and non-industrialized countries. So if I tell you, Ghanaian Africans, your people are underdeveloped, Ghanaians are underdeveloped, would you accept it? How about you?
No.
And how can a place, there is no place, you can't have a country without people. So how did you call the country itself underdeveloped, yet claim that the people who live in it are developed?
Because of the infrastructure.
No, but what I'm saying is, if the people were developed, shouldn't they build what they're supposed to build?
But it's the resources as well, the lack of resources.
What resources you lack? See, the comparison is when you began to know that your country, the 4-pillar foundation required in any developed industrialized country, no black country has it. Those are, you know what is WASP? W-A-S-P. White, the race. Anglo-Saxon, the ethnicity. Protestants, the religion, and their history.
So is it when they came to colonize our continent?
No. That is a 4-pillar foundation. Japanese, the language, the ethnicity, they're Japanese. The history, they are Meiji. Their religion. English are Anglican. They're WASP. They are formerly a Germanic tribe that occupy what we call now the UK or the English land, England. China, you see it, even though you have pockets of different tribes. They all speak Mandarin. They are all from the Ming Dynasty. They all share the same religion and the same history. Let me ask you, who is a Nigerian?
I would say someone who's born there, or someone whose parents are from there or raised there.
So what is Nigerian culture?
It varies because in Nigeria,
so the answer is there's no such thing. What do Nigerians speak?
multiple languages.
There's no such thing. What is the sense of value of Nigeria as a culture? There's no such thing. What is the history of Nigeria? There is no such thing unless you start from 1960 when we gained independence.
So are you saying it's the people's fault that we're not developing even?
Let me ask you, the 63 black countries in the world, do you know any black country where the people who live in it founded it? By founding, I mean a group of people, like the Yoruba Kingdom, moving around and came upon a land that is fertile, has what they want, and they settled there. Even if they have to kill the indigenous and steal their women, they did, and they made it into a republic. Is there such a thing on earth? A place, a country, where the blacks who live in it were the ones who founded it. No black country on earth will become industrialized. Impossible. Reset resources. People keep complaining and telling you that the reason African countries can't develop is because white people stole their resources. It's a lie. There are 4 resources nobody.
I think that what was done to brainwash black people around the world, long before they even left Africa, we are still suffering from that legacy of colonization, the legacy of slavery, where the people in power, they themselves don't believe they can do it. We still have leaders who believe you can't make it unless you're working with white people. We have individuals who think only something brought in by white people is what's likely to succeed. With that kind of mentality, it is a very difficult battle. Our battle to succeed, to unite as the African continent, it is a battle of the mind. And each and every African must realize that we are defeated where it matters the most, which is the mind.
We have to answer this question first. What is the Africa we want? So we say we want an Africa that is free of violent conflict and war. What leadership do you produce to get that result? We want an Africa that is free from poverty. What kind of leadership do you need to create to end that poverty? We want an Africa that is free of, that is driven by women's emancipation. Where is this leadership? How do you create it? We want an Africa that is free of corruption. How do you produce this leadership that is not corrupt? Now, these are the questions that we've got to answer, these practical things that President Kagame was talking about. And it's not an easy question to answer. But I think critically, we were discussing this thing yesterday. Critically, we need a critical self-assessment of ourselves as Africans. To say, as President Kagame was saying, we've been discussing this thing about the quality of leadership challenges we face for a very long time. But when have we sat down to say, now let us assess, no, you Thabo Mbeki, you were president of South Africa for so long. Let's assess your performance. Did you provide this kind of leadership that is suitable for this Africa that we want? Where did you go wrong? We got the African peer review mechanism, which President Obasanjo can speak about. That's part of what it was supposed to do, so that we sit as peers to say, no, but the president, you are misbehaving. You are stealing public resources. You've accessed power in order to put money in your pocket. This is not the leadership we want. But we're not doing that sufficiently because we're afraid. We're afraid to speak frankly to one another about the wrong things that we're doing. And I think if we don't do that, we will meet a century hence to discuss the same question. I think that critical self-assessment of the continent is necessary. And I mean a real, critical, truthful self-assessment. That's critical, and I think that would be an important step forward in terms of producing this kind of leadership which Africa.
When a woman is beautiful and the brains are not working, the tools between the legs, they suffer. When a country, when a continent is resourced, attractive, profitable, but leadership, HR, is not working, the resources of those countries, they go to waste. We say, therefore, the of a drunk woman does not belong to her. It belongs to the that are sober. The resources of a country that can think, they are taken away by those that are sober. When you ask me, what's the problem? Our leadership is fast asleep. And when they are awake, they are not fully informed to the global conversation and the impact of the decisions that they are making in the short term, in the long term. Number one. Number two, they are manipulated. Number three, they are compromised in such a way that some of them have not been in power legitimately, but they've actually gone to the West, they've been trained there, they've been assigned, they've been sponsored, and they've been placed into positions of power to maintain a certain narrative. Look at Cameroon. Biya. France is running Cameroon. Biya is sick in hospital. The country is running under the supervision of Macron. And then you ask me, what's the problem of Africa?
Yeah.
To tell you that, the problem of Africa is Biya. I'm not saying Biya is an individual, but the state of mind, the gullibility, the insensitivity, the cruelty of a leader selling his people for the sake, even of Venezuela. How does one army general receive $30 million in cash to sell his own president? And when he's finished selling his own president, 350 people are dead. And he takes his bag of money and walks away. And those 300 people are Venezuelans. And he feels nothing. Part of collateral. And you ask me, what's the problem? It's not an African problem.
It's not an African problem.
Human problem. Even Europe, with the glory that you might think, how do they sleep at night? When they manufacture their weapons and they send them to Congo, and Congolese are killing each other, and their children are dying, and etc., and amputating their hands. How does Apple feel with your phone using cotton from Congo, and yet you know?
Family. Now today I have something to talk about. Not that Africa will not develop more than the way it is now. It will, because the place it is now is not the place it was the previous days, the previous years. But now the problem comes when most of the leaders in Africa, they don't believe on them that they can do it. Most of the leaders, they don't believe on themselves. We have some leaders who believe themselves that without any assistance from a foreign country, we can make it. We have some countries that some leaders who think and who thinks and they are ready to work to make African great, to make African, the continent of Africa, to move forward, at least to be another level. We have some leaders like Ibrahim Traore everybody, I think most of the people, they know Ibrahim Traore, what he has done to his country and what he's planning to do to the people of Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore is a good example of leaders who believe themselves that they can do it without any assist of the foreign countries. They can do it without any assist of any foreign country from another continent. They can do it. One of them is Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore, I do appreciate this man. By the way, Ibrahim Traore is a person we have to look. Some of the leaders who think that they will not, who do not believe themselves, they have to look an example of Ibrahim Traore, what he's doing to the people of Burkina Faso. Now the people of Burkina Faso, they are enjoying. In the previous days, the previous years, Burkina Faso has been ranked among the poorest country in the world. But now look at where the place it is. Now the people of Burkina Faso, they are enjoying at least what they are mining, at least what they are planting. So that's why we are saying most of the leaders of black people, it's not that they cannot do it. They can. We have faith that they can do it. But the problem comes when they don't believe on themselves. They don't believe that they can do it. But if they believe they can and they start moving forward, there's a say that saying that fail to try and fail is better than fail to try. Okay, let those leaders try and fail so that you can know that they tried to use this system and it failed. We look for another system. But most of the leaders of Africa, they are not ready to try so that you can see that this leader, okay, he or she tried to do this and this, but due to 1, 2, 3, the system failed her or him. But most of them, they don't believe on that. That's why Ibrahim Traore was trying to say that, was trying to see if without some assist from the Euro countries, will we make it? But what happened? It proved himself that he can make it. And when he started the process, there's some countries that were depending on that country, on Burkina Faso. But what happened to those countries? So that's why we're saying that most of the leaders of Africa, let's believe that we can make it. Let's believe and unite to make African great, to make the continent of Africa to look more than the way they expect. Because they have been seeing Africa as a country that looks like anyhowly. But now, when Aisha Speed came to Africa, he proved them that, wow, this is not Africa we have been thinking about. This is not Africa we have been talking about. Now, what I will urge, most of the leaders of Africa, just let's believe and unite to make our continent to look more than they expect. This is the African Arrow, the voice of the world, where we conquer, we tell you the truth that's happening globally. Don't forget to leave a subscribe and a share for more and more what's happening in the world.